Dougie goes flying down the street screaming bloody murder. And Ricky runs after him, and I turn around to grab our change, and there on the bar is a little metal butterfly on a chain. And I said, "What's that?" And the girl with the wonderful missing tooth looks at me and says, "Why, it's life." I said, "No, it's a butterfly." She says, "It's life in a butterfly. I made it. It's yours for $1. I only had 60-some cents. I had $2 in my back pocket, but this is what I had in my hand. So the jerk says, "Give it to him for what he's got in his hand, and I'll buy one myself." It was a deal. And I grabbed it up, shoved it in my pocket, ran out Hagedorn's, ran down. Dougie was hiding under a mailbox. He was insisting that his plan now was to join the Navy. We had to drag him out. There was no consoling him. He knew he had ruined Christmas. On the 21st, July Cramshaw got the three of us kids, me and Dougie and Ricky, into the car. We had to wait. Cindy wasn't there yet. Grandma Cramshaw came out very slowly. She has to say goodbye to all her pig monster dogs. She has to remind them she's coming back. This is their relationship. They all calm down. They go back into their house. She comes out and sits in the front seat. Cindy Maloney came over on Mountain Avenue, still riding her bike, even though it was starting to snow again a little bit. She climbs into the back seat. We're in the Buick, and we drive off. Up through the Ramapo Valley we roll. Up past Sloatsburg, up towards Southfields, and then we head to the west. We take a road off to the side and roll up over the hills in that direction. Cindy shows me what she made. It was a beautiful little stick figurine made out of willow, and it was made to look like an angel. And of course, Ricky had the little twig box with the 3 little baby pine cones on the blue spruce needles. And Dougie had drawn a picture on a piece of paper of Jambola the clown. Jambola is his alter ego. Every Halloween he's the same thing, Jambola the clown. So he'd drawn it with crayons, and Ricky said, "How did you make this out of something you found?" "I found the crayons on my floor." And that was his picture. He folded it beautifully, sort of in a knot. And then they looked to me. My popsicle stick manger, it sort of looked kind of like a lot of Elmer's glue with a bunch of sticks crisscrossing one another. It looked like a mistake. It didn't look anything like a manger, but I figured, what the hell, I'm throwing it away anyway when I get there, right? Cindy looked at it and said, "That's supposed to be where the baby Jesus lay?" And I said, "Yeah, you know, if you turn it sideways like this, there's a little stretch that doesn't have glue on it." She said, "Did your mom see it?" I said, "No." Good thing. So I guess I wasn't really taking this all that seriously. We sat in the back of the car, and I said, "Hey, Cindy, you believe?" And she says, "And you don't anymore, is that right?" I said, "Well, you know." She said, "You're so smart. You're such a big, smart guy with that big, bad head. It's got so many big, smart ideas inside of it, huh?" I said, "Oh." She said, "You believe in everything, or you believe in nothing?" "Well, what's that supposed to mean?" "You'll figure it out." We rode up to a place. It was a little bit of a shack. There was a faint light glowing from the windows inside. We parked the car. We all climbed out, but not July. July Cramshaw, their mother, would not go. She turned the dome light on and picked up a ladies' magazine. I climbed out and I said, "Ricky, how come your mom's not going?" "Oh, my mom don't believe the same stuff my grandma believes in." "Oh, and we do believe what your grandma believes in." And Cindy turned around and said, "Believe it all or believe none of it?" "Okay, Cindy." We walked up to the house, and just as we got there, old Grandma, who was leading the way, turned around and she bent down and she said to Dougie, "What do you want?" "I want it to be okay." "It can be." She knocked on the door. The door opened up. And there before us stood a man in baggy red pants, big black boots, a union suit for the top. But then he had big, thick suspenders and long, flowing white beard and old, fluffy white hair and a wonderful red nose. And if ever there was the perfect Santa Claus man, this was it. And the first words out of his mouth, "Ho, ho, 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 ho. So little you have brought some little ones." Dougie backed up. ah, ah. He bumped into Ricky. Good. Ah, ah. This big old Santa Claus man hunkered down and said, "Oh, hello. Ah. How are you?" Ah. It's all right. It's okay. No. Yes, it is. Show me what you brought. By now that ball of paper had been twisted into a tiny little wrinkled knot. Very carefully, the Santa Claus man unraveled it. Ah, Jambola. You know who it is? Sure. Jambola and I have been friends for a long time. Wow. Dougie. Huh? You have something to say? I'm sorry I peed on you. It's all right. I peed on a few people too. You have? Mm-hmm. See the other stuff? So Cindy showed the angel. He admired it. Ricky the little box. When he saw the 3 little pine cones, he said, "I know who they're for." Didn't explain it, just said it. Closed the lid and he looked at me. So I handed him my horrible configuration of popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue. And he said, "A manger? My mom call you?" "No." "What do you want, Stead?" "Oh. What do you want?" "To believe." And then he stood up and said, "Seeing is believing. Now follow me." And he turned around and walked right around his shack. And Grandma said, follow him, and we all did. Little bunny rabbits in a row, we followed him. Up a little trail to a clearing with a circle of stones and a very small old spruce tree, very dry, planted right in the middle of the circle of stones. "Give me your stuff." We all stood on one side. He stood on the other. He put the angel into the tree. He set the little ball of Jambola's picture into the tree. He put Ricky's box very carefully nestled into the tree. He took the manger and set it close to the bottom. He reached into his pocket and he pulled out a handful of something, and as he poured them over the top of the tree, it was dried corn. And then from another pocket he took out something that looked like a ball of hair tied to a stick, and he set it carefully in the tree, just like it's an ornament. And then finally he took out a third thing, a couple of feathers with another little thing that looked like a bone, and he set that in the tree. And then he looked at Grandma Cramshaw. "Your turn." And she came around the side of the tree, and she took this little paper thing, and she folded it open and very carefully started to spill an amazing number of seeds. And she spilled them from the top, and they bounced all the way down, and you could hear them falling almost like rain going through the tree and landing at the bottom. Then he motioned for all of us to back up. And he lowered himself down. He struck a wooden match, and he licked the bottom, and it was very dry, so it went up very quickly. I noticed the Elmer's glue burned blue. Somehow that made me proud. And as it went up into a flame, he stood back and he glowed in the flame. And he said this: "For thousands of years they gather at night, on this, the longest of all nights, and they burn the fires. And they burn the fires to celebrate, to commemorate, to ceremony, to counsel, to tell stories, to sing, to know that the night will pass and the light will come again. And this, too, is Christmas."